into the Ray stuff at some point. I mean, the people that work on Ray have also been at OpenAI.
Okay.
But they never really managed to get people to use it a lot here.
Okay.
It's still, it looks really nice, kind of, in theory, but there's still some kind of setup issues around it, which makes it somehow hard to adopt. Compare that to kind of Kubernetes or something like that. Like, Kubernetes is a really nice way of it makes it very easy to fire up a lot of parallelized experiments. Like, you can just create a lot of specs for your pods that you want to create. I don't know how familiar you are with Kubernetes. So, at a very high level, it's very easy to create a lot of different kind of VMs that are running in parallel, basically. And each one can run with a different set of parameters. So kind of doing this kind of parallel launching of stuff is super easy. But doing kind of something that's scheduling is just harder. Obviously, it's not impossible. But for some reason, all the different distributed compute frameworks have a really hard time getting to that point.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I want to let Nikki ask her question. I will mention, you mentioned Kubernetes, you mentioned spinning up parallel experiments. We do have another initiative, another product that we've been developing. It's called Orchestrate. It sits on top of a Kubernetes cluster and provides a simple command line interface for a modeler, for a data scientist or deep learning practitioner to spin up parallel optimization jobs on that cluster. If that's something you think is interesting, I'm happy to send more information about that. But yeah.
Yeah, right now, unfortunately not, because right now for the stuff we're training, we're not using Kubernetes. We used to do it, but now we kind of switch off for another internal framework that doesn't use it.
Okay.
But it's good to know, because we might get back to Kubernetes at some point.
Yeah, cool. Nikki?
Oh yeah, I mean, similar on that topic. I was just curious, we can send over docs, but in terms of learning about new features, is there a medium that you most enjoy, or is there a product you've seen recently where you're like, oh, this was the easiest way for me to learn about their feature?
Let's think about that.
Videos, or I don't know if webinars are popular, but I know I don't read docs very often. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I feel like relatively short and very concrete blog posts are pretty nice, where it's very clear what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some kind of, I feel like the balance is always a short and abstract blog post is useless, but a long and detailed one is equally useless because you don't have time to read through it.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to be in the sweet spot between those things. I don't like videos very much because it's very hard to, you kind of have to invest in a video rather than you can kind of glance over a blog post and see actually this seems to have good information. Let me put some time into actually reading through in more detail. Because you can get the overview very quickly. It's very hard with the video, unless you kind of trust the channel that you're going to. It's in most cases, my trust that it would be a good content would be very low on most of these things.
Yeah, I hear you.
So my preferred thing is always blog posts. I really like reading the Google research blog. OpenAI blog also kind of it's just, we try to put often a lot of effort into making things not super long and not super short, somewhere in the middle, kind of. Generally, that's kind of the place I like.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I've definitely enjoyed the OpenAI blog. It is pretty straight and to the point and clear. So cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
I enjoy reading a lot of these blogs, not only the OpenAI blog, just because the Berkeley one.
Of course.
It's really good. Berkeley AI Research has a pretty good blog. And